Welcome to Wait What, your weekly verbal double take. This is a rabbit hole podcast where a couple of old guys do moderate to shallow dives into various topics, ranging from true crime, paranormal, sports, pop culture, or anything else that we find interesting. We drop episodes every Tuesday, and then on Fridays if we feel like it. You can follow us on Facebook, X, TikTok, and Instagram. We appreciate you joining us. Now that we got all this self-promotion stuff out of the way, here.
Hey yo, welcome to Wait What. My name is Jason, and today I am issuing an open challenge for my championship belt as I am bringing forth another topic that will make you say, wait, what? Answering the challenge and already covered in baby oil is Darrell.
Well, I did get back from a P. Diddy party, so that's a dated joke, but I mean that makes it sound like I just got out of prison, so never mind.
Or you like to rub elbows with the elite at those white parties.
Dude, I'm so poor, I wouldn't be rubbing elbows, they'd be rubbing my butt.
You'd be dropping off the baby oil.
They'd be like, "Birdie boy, come here."
Well, as mentioned before, I did used to wrestle. Not the wrestling you see at the Olympics, but the WWE style wrestling. I use the name. Go ahead.
I would just like to, before you get started, and this is for any of you that are all like, wrestling's so gay. Because, they have like they're smeared up with baby oil and sometimes they're running around in their underwear. Mm-hmm. But the one thing they don't have that Greco-Roman wrestling has, Greco-Roman wrestling used to be done in the nude by the Greeks. I mean, that's kind of where it came from. So that was pretty gay. Two, wrestling as in sports entertainment does not have the move checking the oil like Greco-Roman wrestling does. You know what that is?
It's a butthole grab.
Well, they put a thumb in your butt. That's awful. That's gay. That's the gay wrestling.
But do you know how much control of somebody you would have if you had your thumb up their ass?
I'm not answering that question. I'm afraid. I plead the fifth.
I'll do whatever you say, I swear.
I'm not allowed to talk about that party. I signed an NDA. I'm not going to jail with P. Diddy.
No, man, that's funny.
All right, go on.
Well, I used the name Billy Club as suggested by Darrell. Well, when we all first started, we thought it was a cool idea to name all four of us after weapons. We had a mace, we had Slapjack, we had Dr. Knuckles, and myself, Billy Club. Yep. I wrestled for about 7 years and made a decent name for myself in the DFW Metroplex and surrounding small towns. I met and exceeded goals I had for myself. Fans bought my t-shirt. Fans chanted my name if I was the babyface or booed me if I was the heel. It was interaction and reactions. Two things we also strive for on this podcast.
I will never forget whenever my daughter was like in elementary school, she was doing cheerleading and I'd have to go to the Pee Wee football games. And I'll never forget seeing a kid wear one of your shirts at the football game. I was like, is that a Billy Club shirt? And the kid's like, yeah. And I'm like, I know him. Anyway.
Yeah, I've seen them before too, not just at the shows, but at a park, a random park. There's somebody wearing my shirt. I'm like, man, that's really fucking cool. That was really cool.
Apparently, I'll never get to know what that feels like because we're not famous. Anyway, go on.
Not yet. Well, as much of an adrenaline rush as it was, it required putting my body through hell, taking chops across the chest, leaving whelps, bruises, and handprints. Constantly getting stretched in ways I don't ever want to experience again.
Is that oil checking the oil thing?
Yeah, they didn't just use a thumb. Let me put it that
way. I call this the Muppet. Anyway.
Oh man. Well, the constant working out and lifting heavy weights, the tanning, taking hundreds and hundreds of bumps that are equivalent to a low-speed car crash. My list of injuries includes a broken nose, cracked rib, compressed and herniated disc in my back, labrum tears in both shoulders, and a tear in my abdominal wall. There isn't a day I don't wake up and have something hurting.
I will never forget whenever Tony first got that ring
Mm-hmm.
And we went over to his house, and it was all set up. And we all climbed in there. And I remember one trying to run the ropes, and it's like, ow.
A lot harder than you think.
And then after that, I did a practice bump, and I was like, ow. Yeah, I'm not doing this. And I just got out and watched y'all. It's like, I'll help y'all write stories. I'll commentate. I ain't fucking doing that. So, yeah, it does hurt. And
Mm-hmm.
if you're just really smart, you don't fucking do it.
No,
Anyways.
I'm not that smart. But to put some misconceptions behind us, the mat that you land on, there is a small pad. When I say small, I mean like carpet level padding on over boards, and then you have a giant spring underneath that helps with the give of the ring.
I have a hard time calling that the spring. They're
It's in the
metal
shape of a
bars.
it's in the shape of a spring underneath that holds it all in the middle, kind of like your
Yeah.
mattress thing in the middle. But
Yeah.
it's not soft. It
No.
is hurt. There is uh, it isn't fake. We can't fake falling. We can't fake slapping each other across the chest. It is scripted entertainment. That's about all you really need to understand about it.
I mean, the thing is that my thoughts on it have always been is it is far more athletic
Mm-hmm.
to do the things that they do without hurting someone severely.
Absolutely.
And that, I mean, that takes talent, and it's a lot easier than actually hurting somebody. I mean, a lot
Yeah.
harder than actually hurting somebody.
Yeah.
Uh, and I mean, because I mean, essentially, you're doing a live stunt show,
Mm-hmm.
and it's it is extremely athletic. And anybody, and not only that, those matches go on forever. I mean,
Oh
you got to
yeah.
have cardio like a bitch.
Oh my God, Darrell. I never had an hour-long match or anything like that, but I did have one that was over 30 minutes, pretty close to 30 minutes. And when I say I was dead, I was so blowed up. It was bad.
I kind of get what you feel. There was one time I was playing when I was playing hockey in my late 30s
Mm.
that it was 3v3, so it was half ice. But I mean, essentially that's just you doing skating suicides over and over and over, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, because that
No
puck's just flying.
downtime.
There's
Yeah.
no icing. And by the end of, I want to say it was like my second or third game where I was in there a lot more than I was the first two. I think we were short a couple players. Like towards the end, I hopped over I hopped off the bench to go out there. I skated about like 4 feet, and just everything collapsed. Like it just wasn't there no more. My body was just like, no, we're done. And
Yeah.
so then I had to like crawl my way back over the bench. I'm like, I'm done. I mean, it was right there at the end of the third period. So, I mean, I didn't feel that bad about it. But yeah, I know what you're talking about, being that gassed.
Well, what the funny thing was about that match is when we got through with the first part of the match, the crowd was really into it. So the promoter, which was Killer Tim Brooks, for any people that are wrestling fans out there, Killer Tim Brooks was a big name here in Texas at the Sportatorium. Uh, but he came up to me and goes, y'all gonna go 5 more minutes. You're gonna go over this time, or y'all gonna go 5 more minutes. I just looked at him like, are you fucking kidding me? Go 5 more minutes, I'm dead. But it was a long enough time in between there for us to get back together, put together a match on the fly, and then crowd ate it up. It was great. But one must ask why would anyone ever put themselves through that? Was it worth it? Would you do it again? The answers are simple. There is nothing like it. Yes, it was worth it. And a resounding hell yes, I would do it again. There is no doubt that a wrestler must possess a special mindset. Now, my wrestling career took place on the independent scene, wrestling for numerous promotions around my hometown. I didn't travel out of state. I didn't aspire to be on TV. I got in the game late, and I knew there wasn't much of a possibility. My mindset was not on par for anybody that wanted to make it to the big leagues, like the WWE or in New Japan.
Do I get to rant now?
Almost. That
Okay.
mindset is a totally different animal. Okay, you can rant.
All right. So in the little work that I did with y'all on that,
Mm-hmm.
because I remember Tony at first was like, dude, I need your help writing stories. And I'm like, all right, cool. Independent scene wrestlers that are wrestling at goddamn flea markets still have egos like they think they're a fucking star.
Oh my God, Darrell, I'm
And
glad you brought that up.
it is so insane. I mean, it was like the worst part of dealing. It was I would go there because I liked watching you. I was always there to record for you, and then I did the commentating just because they needed somebody to do the commentating. That was it. Because once I figured out that I wasn't going to get to write stories, I was kind of like, well, fuck, I don't want anything to do with this. Uh, but just in those times, just sitting there being backstage and all that other shit, just the biggest. I mean, I'll never forget. It was that old man. He was an old man, old fat man, sitting there like wrestling with all these younger guys, and he's sitting there like, no, I need to be this and that, and they're just like, you're a fucking old fat man. Shut up.
Yeah.
You're not gonna beat the younger guy.
Well, I'm glad you have this experience because your knowledge will help with this story or with
Oh yay.
this episode. That mindset one must possess is centralized on selfishness. It must be. Hell, I will even go one further and state that a wrestler goes through a mindset that coincides with the seven deadly sins. Most wrestlers will go through many of them at one point. Don't believe me? Well, let me just lay it out for you. First, we will start with the first sin, lust. Lust is defined as an intense or uncontrolled desire. Although it is usually in the sexual sense, I can see it as a deep down rooted in your soul passion. A longing that needs to come out, a wicked itch that needs to be scratched with a pair of deer antlers. In other
Shut
words,
up, you son of a bitch.
the best things ever. Oh,
He
that was
used to
great.
use my deer antlers to scratch his balls and piss me off.
I wasn't the only one.
I know. Those deer antlers saw way too many nuts.
They were perfect for what they were used for. They were like a 2 or 3 point
That deer
thing.
did not die to relieve your itches.
But the point of it was kind of rounded a little bit and it was kind of cupped so it knew exactly where to go to find that itch. Oh, it was greatness. It never touched skin, put it that way. It never
It
touched
didn't.
skin.
I mean, because if it ever did, I would have taken that deer antler. We would have seen how well it fit up your ass.
Yeah. Well, in other words, you must have a burning desire to become a professional wrestler, a longing that can only be tamed by wrestling.
All right, so I get where you're going with this. You're going to sit there and say how each of the seven deadly sins will fuels a person to become a wrestler.
It's your mindset.
Okay, because I was going to say,
yeah.
I mean, I imagine lots of wrestlers are whores, anyways. I mean,
Yeah.
you don't have that many groupies without like getting all of the blowjobs.
So this is like the mindset as one goes down with it to become a professional wrestler. You first have to embrace lust. You have to. You must be willing to do whatever it takes. It must be an intense or uncontrolled desire. You must lust over wrestling. Now, to continue your career, lust alone won't get it done. In fact, lust usually morphs into you begging for more once you get a little taste. You must have it all the time. Even though you don't need it all the time, you don't care. Give it to me now, the more the better. Now, gluttony is defined as overindulgence, usually in the form of food or drink. In a wrestler's mindset, overindulgence means taking it all in. Every aspect of wrestling, watching film on past and present wrestlers, training every day, working out every day, getting booked on any show you can, anywhere you can, for whatever pay you can. Know the business from every angle. Know every promotion and promoter. Know every wrestler. You must overindulge yourself in wrestling. You must embrace gluttony if you want to make it in big in wrestling.
Yeah, I would say that. I mean, you, but also everyone else that we were running around with at that time, everything was wrestling
Yeah.
all the time.
How many more shows can I get on? Can we go up there early to practice? Can we watch some old wrestling to learn some vague move sets? Yeah, you have to totally engulf yourself in wrestling. Well, as you continue, your mind is full of knowledge of wrestling. Your weekends are booked for promotions throughout your territory. Your bag is filled with championships and merchandise sales are making you some dough. You are a main eventer, yet you need more championships. You need more main event matches, more merchandise sales, more than you really need. Greed. Greed is defined as excessive desire for material wealth or gain. In a wrestler's mindset, greed breeds success. The more main events you get, the more notoriety you obtain. The more merchandise you move, the more money you make, and the more space you get at events. The more championships you get, the more you want. Do you need another championship run, even though you have 3 title reigns in the past? No, but you want it anyways. You keep selling out your t-shirt and have made a good lick, but you buy more hoping to make more money. The excessive desire and the mindset of a wrestler only grows. One must become greedy to make it to the top in wrestling.
I don't know how any wrestlers are friends with each other
Oh my God, dude.
because everything is always about. I mean, because it's never just about like I have to. I need all the time on stage. I have to get everybody's cheers. I have to do that, and you can't do that just by saying I have to. You do that while pushing down on the heads of everyone else around you, trying to shove them down.
Yeah,
And it is.
that's where your
Another
knowledge.
reason I can do it.
Yeah, that's where your knowledge or your experience comes into play. Is you were brought in to write storylines for the wrestling promotion we were doing to
Which
help.
I never did.
You never did, but the point of it was to help everybody. But some
Yeah.
people didn't want to take the loss or do what you suggested for them. They're like, oh no,
Well,
I'm
and,
better than that.
Yeah. Because I mean, it was just, and I guess I'll hold off on this point until you get to Pride, because I think it has more to do with that. But everybody was just all about me. I need all the time. I need this story to be about me.
Yeah, that
I
doesn't
need
make
to
sense
come
for my
out
character.
looking like this. Yeah.
Yes. Well, as times move forward and you are flying high, your social media accounts have swelled with fans. People ask for your autograph wherever you go and buy you drinks after the show. You look at yourself in the mirror as you pose with only your belt. You take a shit and you don't even bother lighting a candle because you know it doesn't stink. Your head has swelled to the point that you barely fit through an open door. Pride is defined as an inflated sense of one's own status or accomplishments, just what you're talking about. Pride manifests as arrogance, vanity, and self centeredness. In a wrestler's mindset, pride comes with the gig. With your merchandise continuing to sell, your win totals continue to grow, along with your social media accounts. Fans and colleagues tell you how great you are, and you couldn't agree more. You puff your chest out even further and start thinking you are better than what you are. You are on top, and you want to stay that way. You essentially are starring in your own movie. You want everyone to kiss your ass because of who you think you are. You quit putting people over because you think you are better, or you don't have to drop your belt to the opponent because you want to keep it. Being on top has made you arrogant, vain, and completely self centered. You have put yourself over the business. Like I said, this happens to most wrestlers who make it big. Pride is part of the territory.
The thing that drove me nuts about whenever, especially when you are at the bazaar,
Mm-hmm.
Mexican flea market, for those of you that don't have enough Mexicans to have a bazaar. But whenever whenever y'all were working there, there was 2 people that I remember stood out to me that I had to deal with. A third came in later, that one douchebag, but that was more your story. But the fat old guy I was talking about, I will never forget him. Supposed to be like the commissioner of y'all's thing, and he'd have a briefcase saying, "I have your contract," and I'm like, as a writer, I'm like, all right, you need to take in your environment.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's going to have a fucking contract to wrestle in the back room of a fucking flea market.
For $2.
But it's this whole deluded idea of just delusional of like, I have to be this big, instead of saying, okay, I'm going to utilize my environment as part of my story. It's no. I have to be as good and as big as like the guys on TV.
Exactly.
That drove me nuts.
Yep.
And then the other delusional thing is, I'll never forget this, is when I was doing the commentating, and I was also running the board to do the music and stuff. And I can't remember the guy's name, but I'll never forget him handing me a CD. He's like, "It's number 2."
I know exactly what you're talking about.
My name is Teenage Dirtbag, and number 2 is that song Teenage Dirtbag. And that motherfucker was older than me. I mean, at the time I was in my late 20s, but I mean, still, it's like, you're in your 30s, bitch. You don't look like a teenager at all.
No.
You look like you've seen some shit.
He did see some shit.
It's like, you don't get to use that fucking name. It was so diluted. It's like, I get that you like the song and you like that it says that, and it's all like, yeah, look at me. That song's about me. But you look fucking retarded. Like going out there with your cane and your fucking 401k and your child support. I'm just a teenage dirtbag.
Well, it could be as bad as Shawn Michaels still coming out to "You Think I'm Sexy, You Know I'm Cute."
I love that song. I will
I
not hear
love
you
it
talk bad
too,
about
but
that
he is
song.
no longer sexy. He is no longer cute. He is no longer any of those things.
I mean, but it's so closely associated with him. I
I
mean,
mean, he can't change it.
he sings it.
He does sing it. And I mean, of
It
course, it's Shawn Michaels. He's one of the
Yeah,
greatest
I
ever.
mean,
So
this dude worked in a fucking flea market that just
mhm.
picked up a song that wasn't even popular anymore by this time. I mean, it was
Mm-mm.
already an old song, and he didn't look. He looked like a dirtbag, but not in a teenager at all. It's so annoying. It was like,
It was very annoying. I know exactly what
and
you're talking about.
knowing me, I don't know. I think I pulled down all the video that I had of that, but and you could never really hear my commentary anyways on the video. I kind of wish because knowing me, I don't remember if I made any smart ass comments about him being the oldest teenage dirtbag or anything like that. I probably did. I had the tendency to say smart ass things because I looked down on so much of what they were trying to do story wise.
Yeah, it was a weird time as far as we kind of inherited the people that were there, and they had their self ingrained in what they wanted. Like he might have been wrestling for 20 years and had that song when he first came out, and he's like, "This is how people know me. I got to keep using it," even though there's
Yeah,
20
all
people
six
out
of
there.
them.
Yeah. Uh,
Oh, mommy, he's teenage dirtbag. He's up there, yay! He didn't want to
oh man.
disappoint the poor little Mexican kids.
Well, that place is gone now. It's completely wiped out. They tore it down. The whole
I mean,
bazaar.
we've got tons of bazaars, though. I mean, I'm sure they all moved on to a different one.
Yeah, just the nostalgic part of it, going back in there and seeing it again would have been cool.
Nostalgic for you.
Yeah,
It's just kind of, for me, it was a bit of a chore. It was a favor I was doing you
yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming.
and
It
Tony.
was fun.
And
Yeah,
Tony. I mean, but yeah, I did. I was kind of like, because all I did was just get so fucking irritated with everybody. They're just taking it just like, I mean, I get taking it seriously. You take your work seriously, but the problem is they were taking it seriously, but doing a bad job.
yeah. They have an overinflated sense of ego.
Yeah,
That's or inflated ego.
couldn't stand it.
Yeah. Well, as time continues, your arrogance and self-centeredness grow. However, you have become reliant on your past accomplishments. You don't work out as much. You don't watch film as much. Your work rate has diminished. When you don't care because of your arrogance, you have become lazy. Well, sloth is defined as laziness or failure to act and utilize one's talents. A wrestler's mindset usually doesn't recognize this, but everyone else can see it as plain as day. Ding, ding, ding. Uh,
uh,
well, you have gotten used to being on top or a main eventer. You no longer bust your ass to keep proving yourself. You continue to rely on what you got there to begin with. It works for a while. You are still blinded by your own self worth, and you can't see your colleagues passing you up and that fans are turning on you. Before you know it, you aren't in the main event anymore. Your merchandise sales have slowed way down. You haven't won a championship in years. Of course, this isn't your fault. Remember, you have an inflated sense of your own self worth and accomplishments. You want someone else to blame. So, you then start looking around the locker room and you no longer see colleagues. You see people taking what was once yours and you want it back. You don't care about their success or happiness. Your sloth mindset has evolved into resentment. Okay, a side note. This is where my mentality stops. I wasn't all the way into sloth mode, but there were signs. I didn't look forward to my bookings as much as I used to. I didn't take as many bumps and relied on easier moves as I was getting blown up much faster. With my body and mind not in it, I had to step away. So that's about where my mindset stops. It was right when it was evolving into sloth mode, and
yeah.
it was
Did
time
you
to go
do
away.
Vanity already?
It was next. It's
Oh,
next.
okay. All right. I was gonna say, it just seems weird that it's coming after. It's like whenever you're on the way out and you're like getting fat and lazy, and you're like, okay, now time for Vanity. All right. I don't have anything to comment because I never experienced that. I just know that you got hurt pretty bad, and that was whenever you're like, I'm done. I'm like, thank God. You're
Uh,
old. Stop it.
it was time to step away, and I thought I would get back into it. But the more days that I were away, the harder it was the harder it was to get back into it.
Yeah.
Uh, it's not vanity, it's neck. It's envy. Envy is
Okay.
defined as jealousy toward another's happiness, success, or possessions. A wrestler's mindset at this stage sees everything he used to be, sees everything he used to have, sees how happy he used to be. It eats at you. You see other people's enthusiasm and you roll your eyes. You downplay an up and comer saying he isn't that good, knowing he will be great. We even go so far and attempt to sabotage someone's career by maybe spreading a rumor or telling other people not to work with him because he is unsafe, if it means you would get that one more chance. You pop a few pills and wash them down with a beer to ease your mood, which has become more frequent. You know time is not on your side. You look at the person you become and you don't like it. Drinking and drug use is a daily thing now, but you do it to get by. You show up to shows loaded, expecting people not to notice, and if they try to ask you about it, you get defensive and lash out. Now, wrath is defined
Wait,
as
hold on.
okay,
Before you move off of that one, did you just recently rewatch The Wrestler or like some sort
no,
of Jeff Hardy biopic? Because you seem to be like, because you weren't in the whole like pills and booze
no, but
phase.
I
You're
know
just like,
somebody who was.
okay,
I'll
all
get
right,
to that. I'll get to that.
all right.
But yeah, I have a lot of experience in this, not as far as what I'm talking about, but the whole mentality of it all. I've seen people show up to shows in this state
Ugh.
where they relying on their old talents from a long time ago and they're going by just their name. For one example, we had Matt Bourne on our show quite often. Matt Bourne was better known as Doink the Clown in WWE. He came to several of our shows. He worked with us and never had a problem with him, but he would always come drunk or high and he would get in the ring. But since he was Matt Bourne, he didn't give a shit because he was in WWE and none of us were.
Yikes.
Yep. Now, wrath is defined as intense anger and hatred. You lash out at your colleagues that used to be your boys. You fight with the promoter as you swear you aren't lit. You aren't missing a payday or out on another show. You pull out your gear you haven't washed that still reeks of booze and sweat and go through the motions of a match in which you take your liberties with a rookie and lay in some extra hard chops for the hell of it. You have lost respect in the locker room. You quit getting booked. You lose yourself in a handful of pills and a bottle every night. You don't even remember when times were good and you were on top of the mountain. At this point, you are the embodiment of wrath. You have destroyed your relationships and yourself.
I got mixed up whenever vanity was was an old proverb, and I should have said this during Pride. I'm going to go back to Pride real fast.
Okay?
I appreciated the pride that came with it because working out with you, you knew how to get all the muscles that looked good. They weren't
Mm-hmm.
necessarily useful, but whenever we were
Hey!
whenever we were working out together, whenever I was living over by you and we
Mm-hmm.
were going to the gym, and you were just like, we were getting ready to go to Vegas, and you're like, we got to work out our pussy muscles, and we were working out like chest and arm. You're really good at it.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate that, and I'm also glad that I never had to see you get into wrath mode. I mean, the only time I ever saw you mad was a couple times. It's usually because somebody was doing something just shitty and stupid, and yeah, I mean, there was like, remember the guys that like faked the injury and didn't tell anybody about it, and it was a work,
Mm-hmm.
and they like cut a promo at the hospital and shit like that, and it was just like, if you're gonna do a work, you have to tell everybody else. You know, you don't treat the locker room like the fucking crowd.
Yeah. Yeah, there wasn't many times I had to get mad, but it did happen. Well, this mindset, although just my opinion, tracks with wrestlers who have lost their lives way too soon. Some wrestlers never make it to wrath. The some that do, they could come back in two ways. One way is redemption. Take Shawn Michaels, HBK, the guy I was just alluding to earlier. He is a person whose career is a perfect example of what I just laid out. The other way is a trip 6 foot down in the ground, which I had a close friend who chose the second way.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, I remember that. You tell me about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Shawn Michaels thing, I remember like it was a big deal whenever he started to come back in the early 2000s because
Hmm.
every time he tried to do it in the 90s, his bullshit would catch up with him again.
Yeah.
And whenever he finally shed all that, and it was what the mid late 2000s whenever he really made the really really good comeback.
Yeah.
uh that was impressive. It was one of those things where it was like, holy shit, he's finally back. He's
Yeah.
finally back. And I mean, he's still around now doing stuff, and he's not dead, which is great.
Yeah.
I love
He's
that.
running NXT, but his main thing he goes back to is he realizes what an asshole he was at the time and how many people he fucked over and how sorry he felt for it. And he every day he tries to repay that back.
My uncle was a wrestler, and they did he was up in Tennessee, but he did a lot of stuff just in that area. I mean, and he'd even come down for shows in Texas and stuff like that. And back whenever Shawn Michaels was running something down in San Antonio, I want to say
Hmm.
in the late 90s, um, he
Texas
just
Wrestling
was
Academy, by the way.
he was lowballing the shit out of him. He was lowballing the shit, even though they were going to be coming all the way down from Tennessee. They had a big enough name going for like Tennessee, Mississippi, Kentucky, all that stuff. Um, and all right, I guess I'll say we don't have a ton of listeners in those areas, but Midnight Angel. I mean, that was my uncle. So if you ever heard of him, that was him.
Good
But
name.
yeah, he did not like dealing with Shawn Michaels, and he wouldn't go wrestle for him just because of that. Just because the fact that even just trying to book with him was just a nightmare. Said he was way he put it, he's an asshole. I ain't gonna deal with no asshole. Because up in Tennessee, they don't say their L's with that. That's one of my favorite things about my mom. It's just, when she calls me an asshole. Asshole. It's code, Darrell. Did you
Yeah.
say it's code, Mom? Shut up, asshole. Anyway.
Now, Shawn Michaels' stories are legendary as far as what he used to do in the back and what he got away with because he was the champion. He was the top of the world in WWE. He was the cream of the crop. And he
Yeah.
got away with some shit.
Yeah. he fucked some people over pretty hard.
Yeah, I mean, he's part of the greatest screw job in wrestling history.
Yep. And I mean, Bret Hart still ain't over that shit.
No, I mean, that's another guy who has his own problems who fits along this pretty well, too.
Yeah, he does, and it's one of those. He's still in his angry phase.
Absolutely.
I mean, but he got. I mean, and there's times I understand it because I mean, when it comes to the screw job, he wasn't innocent. You know, he was
No, he
trying
should
to.
have gave up the belt. He was about to
Yeah,
leave.
yeah. But like, I mean, the fact that like Goldberg pretty much ended his career because Goldberg couldn't work with shit.
Uh-uh.
You know, uh, I mean, yeah, he's pissed about it. He still had plenty of years of wrestling ahead of him, and he can't fucking do it no more because Goldberg was a big dumb ox that just flung his leg around like a retard.
Yeah, that's what happens when you try to have a match with Goldberg.
It's true.
I mean, that's why a lot of his matches were the 2, 3,
Squashes.
4 minute squash matches. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hit his couple big moves and boom, it's over. Anyway,
Yeah,
what
there's. All right, go on.
I was just going to say, I have great respect for the wrestling business and every person I have shared a locker room with. I still love it to this day, and hopefully I can snap on those tights and step into the ring for another round. Only time will tell.
Do not. Because I remember, like, when you first started, you would wear pants. And then you went to the little shorty shorts. And then
Uh-huh.
by the end, you went to the briefs. Didn't you go to the briefs at the end?
It wasn't all the way, it was like bicycle shorts. Like,
Oh, okay. I thought you went to all the way to briefs at the end.
no, it wasn't like the tidy whitey underwear.
I
It was
just
like the
don't. I
boxer
just
shorts.
don't. I just worry about how short your pants are getting, and you're at an age now, Jason, where you can't have that. They'll be like, "Is that a dog ear hanging out of his briefs?" I think that's his nutsack.
Never had a wardrobe malfunction, thank goodness.
Yeah, because you were younger and more taut. Now things are getting floppy.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't even want anything to flop out. That would not be good. I did drop kick somebody in the dick once.
But
Sorry,
you just didn't get enough air.
I did not get enough air. Somebody got the perfect picture of it too. As my my right foot is up on his chest where it's supposed to be, but my left foot, for whatever reason, is way down, and it's like you see his dick in the, you just see my foot just smashed up right against it. And I remember hitting it, and I go to cover him, and he goes, "You just kicked me in my dick."
Did you get DQ'd?
No, I mean,
You should have been.
he was coming off the ropes. Like I said, I didn't get very high, and caught him in the chest with one foot, and then caught him in the dick with the other foot. Sorry, Nathan. Every year when that picture comes up on my memories, I always send it to him. Like, remember this? I sure did. He's a great guy, and one of my funner opponents I got to work with. Well, that will do it. Well, be sure to check it back next week, as Darrell will put his belt up for grabs as he wrestles with another topic that made him say, "Wait, what?"
I'm not doing that. The only belts I have are to keep up my pants. You take that.
You don't even wear those anymore. You wear suspenders.
Shush. Yes, I do, because they're so much more. They're awesome. I'm not ashamed of it. I may have to
switch.
I wear suspenders, and I'm proud of it. Belt buckles, they would dig in my gut, and they were uncomfortable and squeezing everything. Suspenders, it's just like, it's kind of like a drunk buddy just hanging on your shoulder. And I can handle that. I'm used to that.
Yeah. So. I may have to switch. I agree with the whole belt buckle, dig it into your belly.
Yeah.
Good thing I just wear sweatpants most of the time.
And see, that was my thing. When I worked at home, I always wore just gym shorts or sweatpants, and I didn't ever have to worry about it. Whenever I had to go to start working in the office, and I would just refuse to wear a belt because, sitting down all day, and I'd end up with just in my stomach. And then finally, when I went to my friend's wedding, and I was in his wedding, and part of our getup was wearing suspenders, and I was like, holy, I like suspenders. Suspenders are awesome. And so eventually, I bought some suspenders, but since I wear t-shirts and silly shirts that I don't tuck in, I always just wear an undershirt, wear my suspenders over the undershirt, then put my shirt over that. So yeah, it all works out.
It does. I like it. I may have to switch too.
I'm at home. No undershirt, no suspenders. I don't care if my pants fall down here. Sometimes I really...
He ain't even wearing pants. Don't let him fool you.
Oh, I am too. I'm wearing blue jeans. Anyway, but yeah, if my pants fall down here, it's usually a good thing. So, good things happen when I don't have pants at home. So.
Well, Darrell, that was fun.
It was.
Yeah, we'll see y'all later.
Yeah, watch your ass. Don't get your oil checked.
Mechanics grip.
Bye. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Wait What? This show's available on YouTube, GoodPods, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and pretty much anywhere you listen to podcasts. We love to hear from you. Please comment on what you just listened to, pass along episode ideas, or just talk to us at Wait What Podcast in our Facebook group or on TikTok, Instagram, or X. Again, we really appreciate you joining us. Come back again to hear about some stuff that will make you say, wait, what?